What's good, camp folk? It's your boy Dom. I'm back, y'all. Hey, had father duties. Y'all know I have my newborn. He's about 7 months old right now and running the household like you wouldn't believe. And he's got us wrapped around his little finger. But I love the little man. And I got an opportunity to get a cigar review in, y'all. So here we go. I'll tell you what, we got a special one today, y'all. My guy Antonio from Soul Brothers Cigars out there in Miami sent me one of his new exclusive cigars, y'all, the Tycoon. Let me tell you something, this bad boy is huge. You're talking about a 7 3/4 by 70 cigar, and yo,
oh my god,
I don't even know how I'm gonna tackle this down, y'all. It's pretty girthy.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying? Look, just for a bit of comparison, y'all. And this motherfucker's curved. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we're gonna make it do what it do, y'all, and get into this Tycoon. But I gotta tell you something, man. When you come into a cigar like this, the first thing I think is, hey, I gotta make sure I eat a full meal. And you gotta wanna have some food in your belly, that way you can get through it. Pretty sure most of you guys that are watching this, or gals that are watching this video right now, are pretty experienced in your cigar smoking. But for those of you that have not ever smoked a pretty massive cigar like this, you want to come in it smart, right? Make sure you got some food on your belly, that way you can get through it. Make sure you're hydrated. And yeah, we're gonna see if we can get through this. So Soul Brothers Cigars, they're based out of Miami. He does a really good job with the cigars that he does have in his inventory. And this one I've never had. Like I said, it's got some coffee grounds right there in the cellophane, which may create a unique experience with this cigar. Of course, it got some nice coffee notes coming out of that. It's got the coffee grounds in there, but I'm wondering if it's gonna hold throughout the entire cigar. Hopefully we get some different flavors within the cigar, not just coffee, but we shall see how that goes in the cold draw and within the cigar as we smoke it down. But first, man, what am I doing? I need to get something in my glass. Y'all, today we're going with the pin hook. Let's pour it up. Cheers.
Delicious.
Whew. All right, y'all. Tycoon, 7 3/4 by 70 gauge. Whoa, we in for a session. What I want to do is time mark this video, which I normally don't do, and actually give you guys about an estimate of how long it took to smoke this cigar down. So what I do like so far with that cold draw is, although he did pack the cellophane with some fresh coffee beans, it doesn't come through super strong on the cold draw, which is great, because I don't want a cigar that's just one-dimensional. But I think that's going to add a little bit of something extra to the cigar that might be pretty nice. Another thing that I'm noticing with this cold draw is it's nice and open. For it to be as big as it is, it was rolled really well. I'm getting nice constriction through it, nothing too tough. I don't have to poke or prod through this cigar. I think we're in for a good session, y'all. You know, I think a lot of folks get intimidated when you get a big cigar like this, but you don't have to do anything awkward, man. Like, a lot of folks look at this and like,
man, I don't even know how the fuck I'm smoke that. It's too big.
You know, when you think about it, yeah, because you know, if you like a smaller gauge cigar, you know, it's gonna fit. What's going on? A lot of this conversation in this cigar review is gonna be probably a little funny and come off a little weird, but hey, no diddy, you know what I'm saying? But hey, all I gotta say is, man, just smoke the damn cigar. Don't look odd. You ain't gotta look odd while you're doing it. Just look like you know what you're doing, and everything will flow well for you. And I do that with the pinky up. So slight hint of that coffee coming through, but more or less, I'm getting a lot of cocoa. There's a lot of cocoa in there. There's a bit of hay. On the body, you do get the coffee bean closer to the foot of the cigar, but towards the cap of the cigar, you get more of that barnyard funk, a little bit of hay, and a little bit of cocoa as well. Let's go ahead and give this a light, get the first draw going. I don't have a ton of information about the cigar. I don't know what the blends are. I don't know what the makeup of the wrapper, the binder, and the fillers are at all. Antonio decided to keep that a secret to himself. Maybe he'll let me in on what's in this stick. So I'm going in blind. The color of the cigar is Maduro, so I got that going for me. But other than that, I do not know what region. No idea. So we're just gonna go with the flow and smoke it down and see what the flavors are as we go down to the first and second, final third, and hopefully it's got a little something that we like in there. So right now we're going military time, y'all. It's 20:30. It's 20:30 right now, and I'll keep updating you on time as I smoke this cigar down. And yeah, see how it goes. Man, smoking like a choo-choo train, y'all. Let me tell you something. I feel like a boss with this cigar, man. Doing big New York shit, you know what I'm saying? It got me saying, you know what I'm saying? It instantly transformed you into a boss, right? I feel like I need to get a Tommy gun, you know what I'm saying? Put my fedora hat on, run across town. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, boss vibes for sure. All right, let's talk about these flavors. Toasted notes right off the bat. So maybe the coffee beans gave it a little bit more of a roasted note. A nuance that I would typically taste into the final third of a cigar, right? Or if you were to smoke the cigar backwards, you'd probably get those same cigar notes. Yeah, that's the thing, people do it. But getting that right off the jump. Now, was that the idea of the manufacturer? I do not know. But hopefully, I don't know. I'm just gonna be open to it. I'm not gonna say what I expect to happen, right? I'm just gonna say, because I'm not gonna it's night, right? So I can do a bolder cigar right now in the evening, which is totally fine. But look, I got a thing for mild cigars, and I'm really hoping that this one is still a bit mild, but does kick up the strength for me as we get down. Because this is a whopper of a cigar, and I don't want it to lay me on my ass, right? Definitely ain't laying me on my ass. Not a big, no diddy. Okay. So let's talk about the flavors of this cigar right now on the first third. So what I'm picking up in the flavor profile would be maybe flaked wheat. There's some fragrant oak in there, or custard. So more in maybe the vanilla side of the house. And not picking up any black pepper, so there's not a retrohale that burns me up. So I'm not picking up a lot of spice in the retrohale, which is okay if you guys like a milder cigar. Right now, it's creamy on the retro, not burning me up at all. It really reminds me of like the Drew Estate. I have to be careful when I say this because it's not sweet. Don't think sweet like Fat Bottom Betty at all. That fragrant profile in the cigar that comes from that robust Connecticut broadleaf, but still creamy on that retrohale, is reminding me of that, but it's not Connecticut broadleaf at all. But it definitely does remind me of that. So a lot of folks ask, hey, how do you figure out flavors on a cigar like I'm doing right now? You got to think about what the flavor reminds you of, and you might want to just go out and get a flavor wheel. I think you can find them on Amazon, or just look up a type of Google search and look up tobacco flavor wheel, and it'll have a bunch of different things, taste, from moss to cement to, hay, cherry, all these different things, and just go through that list and it might remind you, or might spark something in you to be like, oh, okay, it does. I do taste a little bit of anise in it, or I do taste a little bit of cinnamon or whatnot. And that's what I typically use if the cigar is like throwing me out there and I just can't quite figure it out. That's what I do. I just go back in my memory bank and think of what it might have reminded me of. That's how I do it. Yo, but I gotta be honest, man. I've had several Soul Brothers cigars, and what I can honestly tell you is Antonio has a very good palate. And as far as selecting his cigars that he's gonna band up and sell to you guys, like, hey, he does a really good job of selecting the cigars. He has a very refined palate, because there hasn't been a Soul Brothers cigar that I smoked that I didn't like. You know, I've had darker shades to lighter shades, and all of them, you know, they have their very own different nuances, but man, he's like, they're mild. Like, I haven't had anything with the Soul Brothers blend that's just knocked my socks off to where I didn't want to ever smoke it again, because it wasn't well balanced, right? What I'm just trying to say to you is the wide range of cigars that he has. Look, he did a very good job at selecting something that I think everybody can smoke. So y'all got to check my man out, Antonio Soul Brothers Cigars. Check him out. Man, I didn't even talk about the band. The band, hey, the band makes you feel like your boss, man. It simply said it's just Tycoon. It's got a damn big ass damn airplane on it with 2 old school whips. You know what I'm saying? It's a boss cigar, man. This is one of the ones you sit at, you know, if you're watching the game at the house, man, this is the one you smoke. You know, you're gonna be watching the game for a while. You're gonna sit there for a good session. It's the one you pull out. You know, you out there playing poker with the fellas and the ladies. This is the one you pull out, right? And then you win like a boss, just like the cigar's doing. So we got a little bit of waviness going with the cigar. I'm gonna touch that up a bit. We'll see if it corrects itself. I'm gonna smoke this down a little bit to the first third, and I'll update you in a bit. All right, just had to come in real quick, do a quick update. As I'm smoking this, I sat down in my chair and I'm just wafting in the smoke. There's a lot of cigars out there that's really like off-putting to other people, right? So you're smoking a cigar and other people are like, damn, you know, like, you know, it says typical cigar smell. Don't get this with this cigar, and it smells really, really good, very aromatic, and those crazy sound, those coffee notes are like really coming through in this cigar. It just smells like, you know, roasted coffee notes with the tobacco, and it's just very fragrant. Smells good. So if you were to smoke this cigar in a closed-in area with other folks that don't like or don't smoke cigars, I don't think they would be off-put by this cigar, because it smells very good, very fragrant. So really nice tobacco leaf in here. Yeah, it just smells good. I don't, you know, have that. And sometimes with cigars, you get that off taste in your mouth or whatever. If they're, you know, pungent tobacco leaves, you don't get this. I feel like they're very delicate tobacco leaves that was used in this, and yeah, it's just fragrant. I like it. All right, I'm getting back to it, y'all. I'll be back. All right, Kinfolk, coming back in. We're getting into the second third of the Tycoon cigar, and right now, it's been about 30 minutes. So honestly, the session ain't going too bad for me. I thought it would take me a lot longer to get to the second third, but yeah, I'm blazing right through this cigar. It's quite nice. This is turning out to be one of those cigars where it's just not fussy, right? It's consistent and it's not changing as much as I thought it would. But the good thing is it is consistent, right? So it started off mild, and it still is mild into the second third of the cigar. The nuances of oak, hey, it's still there and present. It gets a little darker, okay? You get more toasted, roasted notes of maybe some grain, and that wheat is still there. The coffee, not because of what was in the cellophane, but from the normalness of a cigar. When you get down to the second and final third, you start to pick up coffee notes, and that's what I'm getting with this cigar. Being a bigger gauge cigar, you do have to manage your smoke just a little bit more. You can't sit there, you gotta puff on it, right? I mean, it's a lot of tobacco that it's gotta go through and get going. So you can't sit on a cigar like this too long, or it will go out on you. So just being consistent with it, and then not burning it too much, not smoking it too fast, and then you're gonna get off flavors, but just do it just enough to where you can keep the cigar going, keep it rolling, keep that tobacco lit, and you should be fine. But again, I don't have anything negative to really say about this cigar right now. I really like the flavor output. I like the aromatic of the smoke. I like the smoke output. Not my typical cigar that I smoke, because normally I'm in the Robusto size. So, as a sessional cigar for me, that'll be okay. You're good to keep a couple of these around, just in case you might have that marathon smoke one day, And it's always good to have them around. So what I can tell you though, If you are one of those individuals that get a little bit intimidated by a larger gauge cigar, go ahead and reach out to Soul Brothers Cigar and give this one a try right here. I think it'll be a good introduction into a larger gauge cigar, and just with the flavor profiles that I'm getting, is not too much, right? Although I do have a higher tolerance for tobacco, I still think it's a good one for a beginner cigar to have, and then really still get wonderful flavors out of a larger gauge cigar while still being able to enjoy your cigar session. All right, so enough of that talking shit. I'm gonna get through this second third of the cigar and get down to the final third and update you if anything changes. We'll see you in a minute. All right, y'all. I decided not to bore y'all with any updates because I just wanted to enjoy this cigar for what it was. Quite a larger gauge cigar, we know that, right? And not bad at all. The flavors and the nuances in the cigars were consistent throughout the second and the final third of the stick. So not a lot to update you on, but again, the flavors were mild. The profile taste of the cigar got a little toastier towards the second and into the final third of the cigar. So a lot more of the darker flavors that you would typically get out of cigars in the final third did appear, which was totally normal and totally fine. This cigar would be one that you would just sit down again and smoke in a longer session cigar, because we are about 2.5 hours into this cigar now. So if you do not have the time to smoke a cigar of this capacity, pass. But when you do have time, go ahead and grab that Tycoon from Soul Brothers Cigars, man. It's not a bad stick at all. And if you don't normally smoke a larger gauge, go ahead and pick up this one because it's quite mild. Not fussy at all, very consistent. Didn't change a whole lot, and that's okay. But I will say, for a cigar of this magnitude, I'm more than appreciative that it didn't overwhelm me. Now, do I feel the nicotine hit from the cigar? Oh, for sure. If I wasn't as well versed in cigars, I'd probably be sitting down somewhere in a corner crying, right? But it was mild, right? So it's not kicking my butt totally, but the session was great. Reach out to your boy Antonio at Soul Brothers Cigars and look for the Tycoon or many of the other blends that he does provide. Hey, you will be impressed, and he won't let you down. Great customer service, and he also has a great team as well. Go ahead and give him a look. Follow him on Facebook. I believe you can find him on Instagram too. Get you a sticker too. But boy, I think I'm done with the session. I'm gonna call it a night. About 2.5 hours. I'm sure the wife is ready for me to get to the young one too and help her out up there. Y'all know the motto: be kind to one another and be kindred in leaf. And I got a few more Soul Brothers picks that I'm going to be bringing to you. So y'all just stand by. I think we might be back on the train here. We'll see what happens, y'all. But we'll see you next time on another Kindred Leaf video breakdown. See you next time.